Good morning, everyone. Good to see you there. So, today we're outside in the fresh air, just outside the hall, and we're imagining we're in our cars with L plates on. This is very exciting, May. May is going to take us from a learner to get a proper plate. What is the other plate? P
Um,
plate.
well, let's hope that we are going from our L plate to P plate to our normal plate.
So we're drivers now, learning how to drive in true real life. Thank you so much, May.
Thank you,
It's a
Sally.
very good topic.
Yeah.
So we're aiming to get to our perfect spiritual self, and we're going to get some good hints from Sister May. Thank you.
Thank you, Sally. Om Shanti, everyone. I hope you enjoy the outdoor as much as I do. So, the topic today is my L plate. How to reach my spiritual perfect stage from where I am at the moment. So they say that life is all about learning. So even our senior sisters, our daddies, they have been meditating for over 80 years, some of them. They still consider themselves as students, as learners. So in that sense, um, what we are aiming to do is as we learn, we also learn to become perfect. So I remember when I was a kid, um, so our learning actually starts as soon as we come into this physical body because we, as we get a little bit um, older, then we start to learn to crawl, we start to learn to walk despite stumbling around and all that. And I remember actually when I was still young, one day I finished my meal, and in my rice bowl or my plate, there were some grains of rice left. And my grandfather made a comment. He said, it's good to finish everything that's in your bowl or on the plate because every grain of rice involves a lot of effort. So, in the days of intensive farming, there was a lot of effort about growing, then harvesting, and even about cooking. So from very young age, then I learned the lesson not to waste anything. And then as one gets a little bit older and we go to school or to uni, then, well, especially in the Asian culture, we're encouraged to do well in school because good education is a ticket to a brighter future. So it's all about learning. And of course, in this spiritual university of ours, it's also about learning to be this perfect being. But it's actually, in a way, it's not that hard if we think really about it, because it is in our understanding that originally I, the soul, is full of all the good qualities. So let's have a short meditation now and just remind ourselves who we are. And as we start to prepare ourselves for meditation, so we sit alert. We can sit comfortably, but just remain alert. And as much as possible, keep our eyes open. You may see that from time to time I may have to close my eyes a bit because the sun is actually in my face, but otherwise we usually keep our eyes open as we meditate. There will be some background music apart from the wind. So, and In this meditation, as we sit comfortably, I remind myself that I am this sparkling point of eternal energy. I, the soul, am eternal. I, the soul, am pure. I, the soul, full of all positive qualities, am here, present in myself. I am the embodiment of peace. I am the embodiment of love. I am the embodiment of purity. And I, the soul, am full of all virtues, all spiritual powers, all knowledge. And this is only a temporary home of mine. My original home is the soul world, far, far away from here. As I visualize myself as a being of light, I, the soul, like a rocket, fly into the sky and way, way far away into another dimension, into the world of bright red light. This is my original home, the land of eternal light, world of silence, the world of peace. I feel secure, I feel safe in my original home. And I know whenever and wherever I am, with the power of my mind, I can travel to my original home in a second. And so now I gradually travel back into this physical world, into Leura, with the wind awaiting me. And as we meditate more and more, we feel lighter and lighter, and this practice becomes easier and easier. So with our L plate on, we fly around, and we actually are encouraged each day, each morning, in our spiritual class, we are reminded to consider ourselves to be souls and remember the Supreme Soul. So, with these two tools, then gradually, and I mentioned gradually, we return to our original state of perfection. So, why do I say gradually? Because in this kind of like in the present world, we're very, very used to fast food. So, but meditation does take time, and for a very does take time for us to learn to go back to our original state. And for a long, long time, we actually have forgotten who we are. For a long, long time, we see ourselves only as bodies. And in that way, that's why when we forget who we are, when we, for, when we forget to have our L plate on, then instead of being so conscious in that state of in that awareness that I'm a spiritual being, then I go back to my old way of thinking, to seeing weaknesses in others, to being stubborn, to being frustrated, and all these. And no one would like to be angry. No one would like to be frustrated. But somehow we feel that, well, I've been meditating for a while now, and still as if I haven't made any progress. But it's very dangerous to think that way because no matter how much effort we make, that much benefit definitely we will get. Because in the past, when I'm not even aware of how body conscious I am, then at that time I have nothing to compare. But now, because I'm starting to get used to this checking and changing is very important. If we keep on checking and if we don't change, then we'll get frustrated and I'll feel that, oh, I'm not really improving. But that's not the case because each moment we spend in remembering who we are, that much time we're actually creating positive energy around me. So never, never give up. Always have faith in the self. And spirituality and faith actually go together. First is to have faith in the self, as well as having faith in the Supreme. Because for so long, for a very, 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 very long time, we have forgotten that we are spiritual beings. And so when we meditate, yes, a lot of us, when we stay in that meditation of, in that awareness that I'm a soul, I'm this sparkling energy, I'm peaceful, I'm loving, and we feel light after the meditation. But if we go one step further, if we go to the soul world, and when we remember the Supreme, our eternal parent, our constant companion, um, our eternal friend, then it actually makes our meditation more interesting. And also because that pure energy, the Supreme, or we have an intimate term for that pure being, and we use the term Baba or Shiv Baba. So when we get Baba into our picture, when we merge in the love of Baba, when we meditate, then it becomes more effective for our transformation. So let's do another practice. And this time we continue on from where we were just now. So again, we sit comfortably and in this alert state, seeing myself as this sparkling point of eternal light. I fly upwards, just visualizing the soul flying above the beautiful blue sky into the universe, into another dimension. We arrive in the soul world, the land of eternal light, my original home. And in this world of eternal light, I see a very, very bright light. I'm pulled to this light as if I'm being pulled by this magnetic field. I feel very comfortable being merged in this eternal pure light. I feel the Supreme's pure energy of unconditional love all over me. This unconditional love enters every vein of me. I am merged in the love of the Supreme. Just feel this love, this altruistic love that no human being can give me. And with this altruistic love of the Supreme, my stubbornness, my harsh personality traits gradually get melted away. I feel as I come out of this spiritual shower, being showered in all the virtues of the Supreme. I'm a much shinier star. I'm being polished by the love of the eternal powerhouse. And once again, it's time for me to come back into this physical plane. I come back into my body. So as we practice more and more with these two practices of soul consciousness and also merging in the love of the Supreme. These are the two tools that we use to help us to go back to our original perfect stage, being in that elevated consciousness, being in an unlimited stage. So, but every now and then I may encounter some setbacks because this journey towards perfection is not like this, like an upward curve. Sometimes it's a little bit like this, up and down. The reason being, I haven't paid enough attention to myself. I haven't paid enough attention to what I'm thinking. I haven't paid enough attention in practicing soul consciousness. I went back to my old ways. So it's just a matter of checking and changing the self. But there are also three things that I would like to point out. One is we do our best to always look at the self rather than looking at others. So turning inwards rather than looking out, because when we look out, it's very easy for us, instead of focusing on specialities, sometimes we tend to look at others' weaknesses because we've done that for a long time. So, first is to center myself, and then when I interact with others, then I manage um, to be in a more soul conscious state, and then I experience their specialities. Even sometimes it may be a little bit challenging. And the other thing that we practice, so the first thing is to look at the self, and related to that is also to think about the self, not to think about others. And I'm not saying this in a selfish way. I'm saying again, just being going inwards again, rather than thinking about what others are doing is their business, but what I am doing, what I am focusing, is what is important to me at this point in time. And lastly, we also follow the directions of the Supreme. And the number one direction of the Supreme Soul is to remember Him, rather than following, the dictates or the directions of others, because others have many, many opinions. Whereas if I follow the one direction of the Supreme, then it's much easier. And I'm not saying that this is blind faith, it's actually faith with understanding. As we progress further, then we understand that there are actually many secrets in the drama, that as we learn to practice meditation more and more, our intuition becomes back to our original self, our intuition becomes sharper, and our understanding of things also becomes more accurate. We tend to make less mistakes. I'm not saying that we cannot make mistakes, it's impossible, but also what our aim is, making the mistakes once is okay, but we learn not to make the same mistake twice. This is part of our learning. And also, one important thing is about time. That time is very precious at the moment. Although they're saying now with the lockdown, we seem to have more time, but time at the moment is running very, very quickly. Every day things keep changing. And so if I see each moment as my final moment, each day as my final day, that I don't procrastinate, I don't put things off to the next day, then there are also less waste thoughts about, oh, I haven't done this, I haven't done that. So as we meditate more, actually we're also more time efficient as well. Everything becomes more efficient actually when we're in that soul conscious state. So, yes, there are a lot to learn, but as we learn more and more in this meditation, then we become lighter. We are not bothered by things that are of no consequence to us, actually. Because when we focus on the unlimited, then we see everything that's passing is just temporary. What is important is to go back to my original perfect self, my original perfect stage. And in that way, then I can help others. So let's have one final meditation. So let's sit again in this alert state. And as I remember that I'm this sparkling diamond sitting in the center of my forehead, that I'm this embodied soul with all virtues, that my aim to becoming perfect is achievable. I have the faith that all my original qualities of peace, love, bliss, purity, wisdom, kindness, generosity, compassion, all these virtues are part of me. I am just re emerging them. And yes, I'm not perfect yet. Yes, we do make mistakes every now and then, but I know where my destination is, and I'm determined to return to my original state of complete purity, to this state of being light, of being happy, of being cooperative, of being gentle to both myself and to others. Om Shanti. So I feel that we are very, very fortunate that we have all these tools to help us. And each day, actually, I sing gratitude to being in this lovely environment, being able to see myself progressing. And so I wish you all the best with your L plates, and hope to see you in the very near future, either in person when this lockdown finishes. It may be a few months, we don't know, because every day things keep changing. So let's make the most of this present time when we seem to have more time on our hands to use this time to practice, to becoming this perfect self. So, Om Shanti. And here comes Sally.
Thank you very much. She's a very good instructor. I think I'll be driving a lot better now after listening to that. Thank you very much, May.
Thank you, Sally.
And all good luck to all our drivers out there. Bye.
Bye.